Todd, and we're back with another video. Today we're really excited about this one.
What are we doing today?
Today we are visiting the historic Hannah House here on the south side of Indianapolis. It's by kind of a busy road here, but we're going to do the best we can here on the mic. This place has been around for a long time.
1858, I believe.
We're actually taking a tour with a good friend of ours it's under new management, and they're trying to fix up the place. It's seen some better years, but they want to turn it around.
If you were born in 1858, you would look a little better too, maybe.
I would, maybe. So that being said, it is a beautiful home. There's actually a part of the house that some renters are renting, and it's always been like that. The house itself, they do tours, they do different events. There's a
You can rent it for like parties and weddings and things like that.
Absolutely, and there's a photo shoot in there today, so we're going to try to work around that. But we're going to get a tour on the place and get you the history. There's also some rumored paranormal activity that's supposed to have gone down.
Ghosts?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we know this because we've actually been here in Todd's group, Indiana SPI, that he formed in 2006.
Something like that, yeah.
We were back here back then. We haven't been since.
Been for a long time.
Kind of investigated. It's sort of a hobby that we've done over time. If you know us, you know, go to Indiana SPI YouTube. You'll see some of our stuff there.
Lots of stuff there.
We wanted to come back because it's under new management now. Our friend Allie's back trying to help fix the place up. They're going to do what's called the Paranormal Festival.
Right, which used to be the Paranormal Picnic, which we helped bring here to the Hannah House years ago. They're bringing it back. It's now called the Paranormal Festival, but since the place is under new management, they're changing it a little bit.
Yes.
And they need that along with any other donations or any other events they can have here to kind of help bring this place back to life, right? So
absolutely.
Let's go see what it looks like now.
Oh, sounds good. Let's go. So here we are inside, and we have our wonderful friend, Allie, and I'm going to bring this around.
Allie!
She is one of the managers here.
No,
and
just a volunteer.
Used to be. Manager.
A volunteer.
And she knows this beautiful place, and you've got a love for Hannah House, and this is actually where I met you.
It's been a few years.
Yes.
Allie's going to take us through a tour of the place.
Hear a little bit about it.
Which we appreciate the time, and I know there's a photo shoot upstairs, so we're going to try to avoid those people. But
there's a faux bride and groom upstairs, so
They even have a faux bride and groom.
yes.
Okay.
So welcome to the historic Hannah House. This house was built in 1858 by a gentleman named Alexander Hannah. Really cool guy. If you do your history, he was involved in all kinds of things around Indianapolis. Back then, people had a lot of different roles. You know, they'd be the postmaster and a lawyer and a council person. Alexander wanted to try his luck at the gold rush. So he headed out west in search of fortune. And sadly, he didn't do so well, but he made enough going out west and looking for gold. He came back and he bought this 300-acre parcel of land from his father, Samuel.
and it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. There's a lot of restoration going on, so you're going to see her bumps and bruises throughout, but we're working very hard to bring her back to her former glory.
Well, Allie, what got you interested in the Hannah House originally? How did you even know this place even existed?
Yeah, so originally I had heard about the house through all the ghost stories that have been printed in many, many books. It's known as a haunted location throughout Indiana and beyond. And so that's what drove me here originally, was to do an overnight ghost hunt. And I came once and never left.
That's cool. So you're a ghost hunter too?
Yes. Yeah, all the things. So most of the woodwork in the house is poplar, which was a very popular wood for the time because it's insect and road repellent, but it's not a very attractive wood, so it's painted. We are in the dining room of the home, so this was where all the formal dining was done. And one thing you don't see in too many homes today, you'll come over here to this closet, you'll see that there is a little trap door back here. This leads into the kitchen. So this is where the servants would pass food through so that they didn't have to walk through the drafty hallway and cool off the meal. They pass it directly through here to the dining room. The hardwood floors are supposed to be original to the home, and it blows my mind thinking that we're stepping on the same flooring that people walked on, 175 years ago.
Wow, absolutely.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
One thing that's not original to the home is this incredible mantle. So this was actually in the Bates House Hotel, which is downtown Indianapolis where the Embassy Suite sits now. And the reason we have Mr. Lincoln sitting here is because when Lincoln passed through Indianapolis on his way to the inauguration, he drove the train through and stopped at different places to give speeches. He stayed at the Bates House Hotel and supposedly gave a speech in front of this mantle. So when they were tearing down the Bates House for renovation, this was saved and it ended up coming to the Hannah House. We're so excited to have it. You'll notice when you came in the front of the house that the front porch extended along the entire length of the home. That's not original. So the first original front porch was just a small porch over the front door. The extended porch was added about the turn of the century.
On the side of Madison
Hannah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. And a lot of people don't know, back then, Hannah Avenue was a toll road.
Oh, wow.
So
What?
Alexander Hannah could collect toll from everyone who passed by in their horse and buggy along the toll road, which is pretty cool. It was a neat way to get
The research I found said that it was called the Indianapolis Southport Toll Road, went all the way to Madison, Indiana. And then he collected tolls for like 30 years.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder how much it would have costed in like.
I don't know, but I think it's so interesting.
So if the toll road was like on his property, did he have to upkeep it, and that's why he would take the tolls? I would wonder,
That's not documented. We don't know for sure, but that's our assumption. If he was collecting the money, if he was collecting the tolls, he was likely responsible for
the upkeep. Yeah, that would make sense, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's super cool.
So there is a cool painting here that you'll see, or portrait, and this is, we've affectionately named her Hazel. We don't know that that's her name, and we actually don't know that she's part of the Hannah or the Ayler families that I'll tell you about here in a little bit, but it was found in a family member's home. So we like to think she's part of the family. The interesting part of this photo is her eyes are painted on. So we do believe it's a post-mortem.
Yes.
So the cool part about this picture is as you move across the room, you will see her eyes follow you wherever you're standing in the room. So give it a try.
I just watched them follow me.
Pretty cool. We love Hazel. I think she's the coolest. So these two rooms were the formal parlors. So no children were allowed in these rooms. And as you can see, there were doors that have been taken down so that we can have larger events here, but you could separate if you wanted to have the women's parlor and the men's parlor. If you wanted to open it up for larger entertaining, you could open up the doors. One thing that's a little difficult to see behind the curtains is that the windows go floor to ceiling. That's because they lift completely up and there's a porch outside. So you can walk right on out to the porch.
Wow, that's cool.
So it's like indoor-outdoor back in the day. One other cool feature I'll show you here as I lift up the rug. So in most large rooms like this, they knew that they were going to have a big area rug. So to save money, they put inexpensive wood in the center and they're more expensive flooring around. Isn't that funny?
That is.
Even the rich were saving pennies.
That's right.
Wherever they could, which is pretty cool. Now, when Alexander died, first of all, his wife died, Elizabeth. They married a little later in life. They did have a stillborn child, sadly, and they never had any other children. So there were never heirs to Alexander's family. So Elizabeth died, and then later Alexander died before the turn of the century. And then the house sat empty for 4 years. After that, a gentleman named Mr. Ayler, O-E-H-L-E-R, Roman Ayler, moved into the house. Again, it had been empty for 4 years. Roman was a jeweler in downtown Indianapolis, and you can see on Washington Street. This is one of the clocks that sat in his, the windows of his shop.
Well, I don't want to, get the order of your tour out or anything, but I did see, I'd read somewhere that when Alexander Hannah built the house, it was just for him and him and his staff or whatever.
Yes.
So 24 room house
Yes.
just for one guy.
Yes.
And he wasn't even married then.
Yes. And
So-
he added on when he married Elizabeth. So they added on kind of the back portion of the home, which became the servants' quarters, the milk house, the smokehouse.
Well, sure, because 24 rooms just wouldn't be
Right,
big enough for
it's
two
just not
people.
enough.
Right, no.
No, you gotta have big parties
One
too.
interesting thing, though, that you'll find when we go upstairs is that it is called a 24-room mansion because of the closets. So back then, anything that had a door was taxed or considered as a room. And there are closets
Okay.
upstairs in the house. So the 24 rooms were inclusive of the closets.
Gotcha. So you'd mentioned the stillborn. Now, I happen to know that Alexander Hannah had a huge monument put in out at
Crown Hill.
Crown Hill
Yeah,
Cemetery.
Yeah.
Do you know, was the stillborn buried out there?
I
or do you
believe
know?
so.
Okay.
We have been out there, and I know there was a baby marker, but all the Hannahs are buried out there, and he had several siblings, so I need to confirm if that's their baby.
We haven't been out there to see the monument, but I hear it's
Let's go check it
huge.
out. Yeah, it's awesome.
like it's supposed to be like 37,000 pounds, or 37 tons, which is like 74,000
It's an
pounds.
obelisk.
Is it an obelisk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool.
We're gonna
And
have to
then
go check it
there's,
out.
Groundstones for all the siblings. It's really, really neat. Okay, those are upstairs. Let's go to the basement.
Yeah, let's go to
Okay
the
with you
basement.
guys.
Absolutely.
We're
And then
ghost
we'll go
hunters. We
back
love the
upstairs,
basement.
yeah. Can you edit all my...
This is the editor, so you gotta ask him.
All right, this is where we get bludgeoned to death.
We really said good things about you outside, so you don't have to bludgeon us. I
You guys want
promise.
to go down first with no lights? Or...
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I was kidding.
It's
You
dark.
can turn the light on, Ben.
Where's the light?
Right there.
Ooh.
Go ahead, and we're going to start to the left when you get to the bottom.
Those are some old stairs, you can tell.
And you can tell, I mean, this is a coal heated house, so there's, you can
Yes.
see lots of remnants of the old heating system, the old stone down here. I just love to come touch the stone. And
Is it cool?
So, yeah, it's so much cooler down here.
Oh yeah.
So these are Grandma, who you'll meet upstairs. Grandma's canned goods. We estimate from 1920s to 1930s, perhaps.
Okay.
So if you take a close look, there is some disgusting stuff in here, you guys.
It's a lot
I
of
see some-
bacteria. And
Yes,
I
yes.
see some green beans.
Uh-huh. Yeah, isn't it amazing? You can still tell what some of them are.
Yes,
Sweet
I mean
potatoes,
sweet potatoes. Yes, this looks like pears to me.
Isn't that nuts?
Pears or peaches or something.
Yeah, those are.
So gross. And you know, some of the different things have labels on them still, so it's
Wow.
so cool to see this stuff. I mean, you don't see Perry's verified salad dressing anymore. One night the shelves were sagging and we had to come in and build this. We were so afraid this was going to collapse.
Oh
And
yeah.
that is actually a story that one of the owners told us, that one day he was up in the kitchen doing some work and he heard the loudest crash. He's like, I knew the jars fell. He knew. I mean, if you live here, you know this
Well,
is here.
yeah.
You know exactly what it
Yeah.
is. He's like, I just hung my head because I knew exactly what it was. He came downstairs and nothing. It was fine. I mean, and there was nothing else. You know,
Isn't
that would
that
sound
crazy?
like hundreds of jars crashing to the ground. So, well, I met my husband here. So he lived in the servants' quarters, which I can take you out to in a little bit. There's an apartment up there. He lived there. I came for a ghost hunt, and this is where we met. So he has lots of stories from when he lived in the apartment. He said he'd always hear people having full-on conversations when no one was here. He ran security for the home, so he knew when someone was on the property and when they weren't. So he also said there were lots of times where, especially he was in the restroom, and it felt like someone was standing right behind him.
Wow.
Lots of stories down here in the basement and in the attic, which I'll take you up to in a little
Just
bit.
feelings of not being alone.
Yes,
And
lots
being
of
watched.
tapping on the shoulder, lots of tugging of the hair.
Okay.
My most prominent experience, I would say, I was here on a Saturday cleaning the house. I was walking upstairs on the landing, and all of a sudden it smelled like fire.
Oh,
Really bad.
really?
Like there was a fire in the home. It was very, very strong. I stepped outside on the porch. I didn't see anything surrounding the house. I went downstairs outside. I could not find a bonfire anywhere.
that's
So
unnerving.
that was interesting. And
Yeah.
it went away by the time I came back, but it was so strong.
Well, I don't want to, mess up your tour again or anything,
No.
but we know that there's a history of supposed fire here
Yes.
that's been unconfirmed as far as I know.
Yes.
So what, I mean, it's kind of interesting that you had that experience,
I
right?
know. Well, let me tell you the story of the basement while we're
Okay.
down here.
Yep. Okay.
So, Hannah was a known abolitionist. That is documented.
Okay, so we know that.
We know he was an abolitionist. And the story goes, again, hard for documentation because you didn't document these types of
Right.
things,
Yeah.
that he harbored slaves as a stop on the Underground Railroad here at the house
Wow.
to help them move north to freedom. So
Okay.
we don't know. I will tell you that there was a department store over on this side of town. They did find an actual tunnel. They were doing some construction in the basement. They found an actual tunnel. They followed it until it collapsed, and they did come over to tell us it was headed for the house.
Oh, what?
Interesting.
We have never found a tunnel here.
Yeah, wouldn't there be something to indicate that? Or
One would think. I don't.
behind here, maybe?
We've never found anything that we would say, oh yes, that's it for sure. So it's really hard to say. That's speculation.
Sure.
But the story goes that Hannah would hide slaves down here in the basement. They would sleep on what would have been then, guys, if you can imagine, this was a dirt floor.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Right.
they'd sleep on a straw
It's
type of bedding.
concrete now, but
And
Yeah.
the story goes that a lantern overturned and caught the straw on fire, and that slaves did perish down here in the basement. We don't know how many.
mhm.
We don't know of that for sure, but those are the stories that have been passed down through the years.
Okay.
Now, Hannah couldn't expose that he was harboring slaves in the basement, so it is said they are buried right here in the basement.
Ooh, okay.
The concrete floor has since been laid. So we've never gone digging to find out.
Sure.
We haven't brought in ground penetrating radar to see if we can find anything. I don't even know if that would pick up bones or not. Let me walk you around the other side. We mostly use that for our commercial haunted house. So watch your step. We're just going to walk through there so you can see what the space is like.
So this is the haunted attraction you're talking about, right? So
Will the haunted house this fall be down here as well?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we'll do a ghost tour of the home. You'll come down here. We will do this side of the basement, and then we go up the cellar stairs and outside to the garage.
Okay.
So just watch your step, guys. It is uneven. So there's a step down right there.
I'm just lighting this up so that I can see you a little bit on the camera.
I do have a flashlight, Todd, if you...
I just grabbed my phone real quick, so it was handy. It's doing a well enough job, I think.
Stone. It's just such an incredible stone.
So the floor under here feels quite uneven. Is this dirt still under this side?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
I'll get the...
And it makes me wonder if this side could be GPR'd as well.
Could be. Yeah.
'Cause
And
there's
it
no
could have
telling.
been- we don't know. If
Right.
it's that side, this side, we have no idea. So,
Interesting.
yeah. But our ghost hunters spend a lot of time down in the basement for sure. A lot of activity down
We've
here.
already got a lot of the cobwebs up and all. I see that.
that.
And that's it. Basically, this is the cellar door that goes outside. It's another little like utility area.
That's an old one.
Do you know?
Right.
I know from my paranormal investigation days. I've been in several old homes. Obviously, in 1858, it's not the oldest home in Indiana, but it's
That's
it's pretty old for Indiana.
Yeah.
And a lot of the homes in this era, in the basements, they have like areas where they would store stuff for like the refrigeration, and usually they're kind of dug out in the basement. And I see this, and I wonder if this would have been maybe where that would have been.
It could have been. There's also a milk house that I can show you out back.
Okay.
And it goes downstairs.
Wow.
There are troughs on both sides where milk was stored to keep it cool.
Right.
And I think there were other items kept in there for refrigeration. It's right next to the summer kitchen, which is
Okay.
where the servants did most of their cooking.
Which would make sense
And
then.
in the back of that, and there's a huge fireplace out there, it's incredible. And then in the back of that is what's called a smoke tree. So it's a wooden tree, if you will, with pieces sticking out. They'd hang their meat on that to dry
Oh.
out.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was caught and cooked.
Right. Yeah.
And this is a large property. And he was really a farmer. I mean, he grew hay, barley, wheat. Those are the kinds of things that they were farming. I'm sure they had animals as well.
Yeah. I think I had read they had livestock and stuff. So
But
yeah.
over time, they sold off parcels of land, and it came down to like a 21-acre property,
Okay.
and even more since then. Obviously, the
Right,
cities moved in. We're right next to a major university in Indianapolis, so sadly, it's become smaller. I would have loved to have seen it back in the day.
Yeah, right.
300 acres. gonna go into the first bedroom on the left. So we'll head in here. This is Grandma's room, and this is Grandma. This is a recently touched up photo of Grandma. She looks so pretty. We had an old picture here of her, but it was, you know, really blurry. So it's so nice to see her looking so crisp.
So Grandma would be who to Alexander Hannah?
So not related to Hannah.
Okay,
So
this is
the
the
Ehlers.
Ehlers, okay.
Yes. So this is Maria Ehler.
Oh, okay,
So
gotcha.
it's her family that still lives at the house today.
That's
Look
cool.
at the size of these boots.
That's
You know, aren't they insane?
Wow, they're so
Pretty
small.
cool.
Here's my hand. Oh my goodness.
They're quite pointy too.
Very
Yes.
pointy. So we call this the blue room, obviously. You can see here, see the line in the wall and on the floor, and the same there. So at one point, there was a wall here. And this was a 5th bedroom, likely a nursery, because you can access it from another bedroom, or you could have
gotcha.
accessed it from here as well.
It's an incredible place.
It is an incredible place.
So Todd,
What do you think, Mike?
you think that'll fit you?
Negative. I think it's to you. Actually, I was gonna see if you could try it on.
What do you think about the place?
This place is cool, man. It has, the history is just phenomenal. I've been in so many old houses and buildings in Indiana and other places in the Midwest with all of our ghost hunting and everything.
Yes.
This place ranks right up there with any of them in terms of just the history, the beauty of it.
And it's a gym here.
Oh, man,
it's
it really is.
They're clearing out some of the trees, and I hope they do so you can see the house, but you can't really see it. You could fly by here on this road and not even know it.
You wouldn't even know it's
Right.
here. Yeah, you wouldn't even know it's here.
I mean, there is a sign out there that needs some work on, but if it wasn't for that, you'd probably just go right
Yeah,
by
yeah.
and not even think about it.
Yeah, but the place does need a lot of updating. It needs a lot of care. And
TLC, and that's what they're working on.
for
so,
sure.
yeah,
And
that's-
hopefully these events that they're having will help them, do that.
And that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, it's a lot of money.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, hats off to people who have love for old places.
Oh,
I know
yeah,
we do.
absolutely.
And it's just a lot of care. But if you don't keep up with a home, especially an older one
yeah.
like this,
It's gonna
it doesn't-
deteriorate.
It takes just a few years. And,
Yeah.
so
And you're not just saving a place; you're saving history.
Oh,
you're
yeah,
saving,
absolutely.
You're saving the whole feel of it. Everything from way back then. I don't know. It's just. It almost leaves me speechless when I come into places like this because I think of the history and what those people did when they were here. I think of the holidays that were spent here, the families that were here.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's just amazing.
if you're here in Indianapolis, I recommend booking a tour here.
Yeah, they do tours on Sundays, I think, Sunday afternoons.
Check out their website. I'll get it in the description below later for you to check out.
Come to the
But-
Paranormal Festival too. You can come and see the place
Absolutely.
then.
And this fall when they start doing all of the
Their haunted attraction.
Yes,
The haunted house stuff.
and it's really just for the love of this house. So I would come and check it out.
So welcome to the library. We call this room the library. Just a couple of historical pieces to note. You'll notice most of the rooms up here have transom windows. So those are to promote air and light flow through the different rooms of the house. If you can imagine, there wasn't electricity when this house was built.
Right.
So a lot of gas lamps or candles were used, and that helped light flow through to the different rooms. You'll also notice these, a lot of people call them chair rails or rails along the top
Oh,
of any
neat.
room. So instead of hanging a nail to put your photo on or your pictures on, you would actually hang them from the railing up there to help protect the wall. And one thing a lot of people don't know about is this.
Oh, what?
Oh, check this out.
So this bookcase isn't original to the house,
secret
but this
door.
passageway is. So this leads around to the servants' staircase. Feel free to go on around and take a look at the stairs. They are original to the home. Servants weren't allowed to use the primary staircase of the home, so they had to come up this back staircase. It ends down by the kitchen, close to where we began the tour.
Let's check out the attic.
You guys want to head up? I'll
Sure.
let you take up. Be careful, it's very steep stairs.
Places we go to, Todd.
Yeah, now this is what I'm talking about.
Wow. This railing's loose.
Yes, it is.
Whoa, there's some room up here. Holy crap.
Yeah, there's some room up here. As a ghost hunter, like I said, I've been to a lot of places.
Yeah.
There's a place called Prospect Place Mansion in Ohio. It was also built in 1858. It has a room like this that they call the ballroom.
Yeah.
And supposedly they had balls and stuff up there. Maybe this was used for entertainment. I do not know. But this is a very similar, I believe this is an Italianate style house, which is what Prospect Place Mansion also is in Ohio. So.
Wow. And obviously this HVAC wasn't here back then.
Right. This would be completely open. I could imagine, candelabras or chandelier.
Yeah. Hanging from the beams.
Hanging from the beams here, and
yeah, those are nice.
See, isn't it fun just to check these old places out?
it is so cool. That's what really got me into ghost hunting originally. What part of it?
I love the history.
Is
The
this
history
rail
tour
or-
of any ghost hunt is probably my favorite part.
Is
Right.
this rail original here?
I don't know the answer to that, Ben. Paul might know. We could ask him.
In Ohio, there's a place called Prospect Place Mansion.
Yes, been there.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
This reminds me so much of that.
It
It was
does,
also
yeah.
built in 1858.
Yeah, the Italianate style, you'll notice, first of all, it's the brick
Yep.
you'll see is so common back then. It's the square nature of the home,
Yep.
the blocked rooms, and then the corbels along the top
Yep.
are so common in Italianate. I think it's a beautiful architecture.
Oh, so it's
See how
right.
it steps down, and then the troughs on the side were meant there'd be crocks of milk that would sit in water, and it would stay cool. This is the summer kitchen, so servants do a lot of their cooking out here.
Oh,
And
this is
full
cool.
Fireplace, isn't that awesome?
That is awesome.
So that's it, guys. What do you think?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I want to say that if I would recommend coming to see Allie
Yay!
at the Hannah House
Yes,
here.
come check it out.
Where can they get more information about this place?
Yes, so you can check out historichannahhouse.org for everything we have going on, but a couple of things notably coming up. If you're into the spooky and the paranormal,
Yes.
we have a paranormal festival happening here on Saturday, August 10th.
Okay, yep.
We have tons of vendors, a band playing, lots of food trucks. It's going to just be an awesome time to come together. You can do a tour of the house, but also just check out all the cool vendors. And then this fall, we are actually bringing back, for the first time in over a decade, the haunted house. So we're so
Yay!
excited. So
When's
hope
that
you all
start?
can join us. So that'll start the last weekend of September,
Okay.
run every weekend in October,
Yes.
and then we'll do discount days on November 1st and 2nd.
And
Oh, wow.
what I remember years ago,
Yes.
and you were around putting that on, it was fantastic.
It was so fun. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
So definitely come out and check it out. We're on Facebook too, so join us on Facebook, and there's great content coming out there all the time.
Yeah, and she's the expert, so
I
ask
mean,
her.
that's a stretch. But our
Allie,
volunteer here.
Allie, before we go,
Yes.
they can get some content from you somewhere else. I hear you have a podcast or something?
Yes, maybe some friends and I have a little podcast
What?
because we love true crime and we love all things strange and eerie. And the podcast is called Beyond the Caution Tape.
Awesome.
So you can download us on your favorite app, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Or check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or the TikTok.
And you recently have an episode on the Hannah.
We do, yeah. We just shot an episode here, so you get double duty if you want.
Check out Hannah House. Thank you very much
Thank
again,
you.
Allie. Yes, in the south side of Indianapolis. If you're here, it's a great stop. Come by and check the house out, and we'll see you next time.
See you there. Bye.
Hear the sound.